Welcome back. Well, if it seems like more of the people in your life are drinking less alcohol, it's because statistically they are. Consumption in Canada is on the decline, with younger Canadians drinking less than their older counterparts.
Our next guest says there are many reasons to cut back or even abstain from drinking alcohol, and it's all about enabling Canadians to make informed decisions about their consumption. So please welcome back to the show, Dr. Sheila Wijayasinghe. Thanks for being here.
Good to have you back, Dr. Sheila. All right, so let's dive into this. The Canadian guidelines were updated back in 2023, recommending only 2 drinks per week. Why did they do that?
So it's a big change from before. We used to recommend higher levels of alcohol, but this is because science has evolved, and it evolves all the time, and it's changed to show us that there's a high risk with drinking alcohol. Like, we used to think smoking was okay.
Yeah.
It's very similarly, now we know that there's risks associated with alcohol. Specifically, the biggest risk that we've really focused on is cancer risk. Alcohol is the leading preventable cause of cancer. And so if we can decrease our risks, the guidelines aren't meant to be prohibitive or judgmental. They're really meant to be evidence-based and to help inform the public about what the risks of alcohol are, to understand your relationship with alcohol and decrease that risk.
Okay, so I've heard about low risk versus high risk drinking. Can you walk us through the difference?
Yeah, definitely. So there's a risk continuum with alcohol. And so low risk drinking is when we drink less than 2 drinks a week, which is what the goal is that the guidelines suggest. Moderate risk drinking is between 3 to 6 drinks a week, and high risk drinking is considered 7 drinks a week, which is actually not difficult to get to. Like, you go at home, you have a glass of wine at the end of the day. Many of us reach that very quickly. But the risk is that when you go up on that continuum from moderate to high risk, there's a higher risk of cancer, heart disease, health risks, and premature death.
Wow. All right, so what are some of the more specific health risks of alcohol?
For sure. So when we break down the risks, there's short-term risks and long-term risks of alcohol. The short-term risks are things that we can think about, like our stomach might get a bit upset, we can have reflux, you have sleep disturbance. Often we associate alcohol with improved sleep. It helps you fall asleep, but it actually affects your sleep and your deep sleep, so it's not really helpful. We also know it can cause dehydration, and my Emerge colleagues often see things like injuries that happen secondary to alcohol and accidents as well. And it can increase anxiety over time too. Then we think about the long-term risks of alcohol, which there are many, and this is where the guidelines change specifically. And cancer risk, we know that there's 7 types of cancers associated with alcohol: breast, esophageal cancer, head and neck cancers. 1 drink a day can increase your risk of breast cancer by 6 to 10%.
Wow.
And so that is one of the big risks that we really want to identify and share with the public. Heart health, alcohol affects the muscles of the heart and can increase the risk of heart attack and stroke. We also know that it can affect moods and mental health, and it also affects the risk of dementia. So long-term alcohol use increases the risk of dementia as well.
So, I mean, I'm glad people are talking about this, but I think there is still some confusion around, like, I know I, for myself, have cut back dramatically.
Me too.
Yeah.
And you have as well. But, like, is the idea that really people should be cutting it out entirely?
So this is a really great question. And what the goal of the guidelines is not to be prohibitive, and it's not prohibition, it's really about awareness. And I work with my patients very carefully. We have to acknowledge that people drink for different reasons. So people drink to cope, people drink because it's social, it's very normal, it's a part of our culture. And some people drink because they have like an addiction history in their family. So we have to acknowledge those things. When I work with my patients, I say, what is your relationship with alcohol and what are your health goals? And then if we can try to cut back, even going from 7 drinks a week to 3 or 4 drinks a week makes a huge difference to their health in the long run. So cutting back is the goal. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily stopping. Unless your goal is to reduce your risk completely, then yes, then we would cut back completely.
Okay. All right, and if you're thinking about you want to reduce the amount of alcohol you drink, where should you start?
So there's some very specific things that I share with my patients. So first off, I say, listen, like, what are the things that we can do in your own day-to-day life? And first off, it's looking at planning ahead. So if you're going to a party or you're going to a celebration, think about how much you want to drink during that party, and then maybe even tell people that you're going to the party with, I'm trying to cut back, so that they don't pressure you to drink, which is sometimes difficult to do, but an option.
It depends on the type of friends you have.
It does depend on the friends that you have. I had patients sometimes say, I can't actually go out with that group of friends because it's increasing my alcohol consumption. The other things that you can think about are things like alternating your drinks. So 1 drink of alcohol to 1 drink of water, and that decreases how much you might consume. There's a lot of mocktails and other options available, thankfully. We see that also right now, which is really great. That's very helpful. And one thing that helps my patients a lot is if you're drinking daily, maybe try to drink only on the weekends and not on the weekdays, and that'll also decrease your drinking. And the other thing is, if you're struggling to cut back, think about getting help, because we're here to support you. We have medications, we have referrals, we have other things that we can do to support our patients through this.
So let's talk about midlife, because I think a lot of people notice that when they hit perimenopause, that in particular, that their way of processing alcohol just doesn't feel quite the same.
Sure.
Is there some connection there?
Absolutely. So we are learning more and more about the hormonal effects and alcohol together. In perimenopause and menopause, we experience things like hot flashes, brain fog, sleep issues. Alcohol can worsen those things. So often my patients, I suggest, if you decrease alcohol consumption, you'll notice that your symptoms aren't as severe.
All right, and what if somebody needs more support? Where can they find that kind of help?
So really definitely talk to your doctor. We're here to support you. This is not a moral issue, it is a health issue, so please do seek out support. But then there's a number of great websites that I suggest to my patients to seek out support. All of these are really great resources from across the country that will help you give resources for families and individuals struggling.
And there are medications as well, correct?
There are medications as well that we can use for craving specifically.
Fascinating. Okay, so we're going to play a quick game of true or false to test our knowledge of alcohol. So first up,
Got our paddles.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, so first one, true or false? Red wine is good for your heart. I mean, I feel like.
You guys think it's true?
Wow.
What are you saying false? Okay.
Yeah, so you're right, everyone. Yes.
Okay, so wait,
it's false.
we're right, and it's false. Okay.
It's false. So red wine does have antioxidants in it. However, the alcohol effects outweighs the benefit of that. So if you're looking for that benefit, go for grapes and berries instead.
There you go. All right, the next one. A beer belly is from beer. True or false?
I'm going to say it's the wings that go along with that.
Yeah, so it's sort of like, it's
got
actually
more
a bit
than
of
just
both.
beer
So
in
it's
there.
not just beer. It's any alcohol can slow down your metabolism and you can gain weight with alcohol consumption. People who decrease their alcohol consumption do notice that their weight decreases as well.
Okay, finally, true or false? Drinking less than 2 drinks a week eliminates health risks completely. I think we just.
Yeah, so it's false. It does decrease.
Wishful thinking. Wishful thinking.
It decreases your risk. So I think this is where it goes back to. Like, it decreases your risk, which is what the goal is. It doesn't eliminate it completely. Even a glass a day can really affect your health over time.
Okay, so to sum it up for everyone, what are the biggest takeaways that you want every viewer to remember?
Yeah, so I think we know more and more now the effects of alcohol. It can really have wide-ranging impact on your health. And so there are options for support. If you're looking for that support, please do come and see us. We're here to support you. It is not a moral issue. There's so much stigma around this. Please do come and speak to us because we have options to support you. And we can really all just talk about this so we can be healthier together.
We love that. Dr. Sheila, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
And sharing this very important information. You guys stay right where you are. We'll be right back.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.